Hey, what's up, brothers? Welcome to Tuesday Thoughts with Mike, your mentor. Hope your Tuesday is going well. Mine has been off to a pretty good start. Got some good work in. Did family movie night, seeing that Toy Story 4. You know what's crazy about that is I didn't realize that started in like 1991. I think my wife said that's like 30 something years ago. Holy cow. Or almost 30 years, whatever the math is on that. That's pretty crazy. That's come to an end. Good movie, by the way. But if you're watching the replay, thank you for tuning in. If you're new to this page, welcome. Tuesday Thoughts is where I basically just present a thought on how to be better husbands, better fathers, better members of our community as men. And if there's any comments, you can leave them below. If you feel this is worth sharing, you can share it. But it's really just to get you thinking maybe for the rest of the week on something. So uh, tonight, the thought is, and this is interesting because it came up in my men's group this morning. We were kind of talking about passivity and how passivity plays in our daily lives and what that looks like. And the question that came to mind is, can you be the a-hole? And what I mean by that is, are you willing to take that stance to, and not in a mean way, but out of love, and confront somebody who's doing something that you might not necessarily agree with, because you care for them. And some of the things that were tossed around this morning, or the analogies were, if your brother is driving their vehicle towards a cliff, what responsibility, if any, do you have to tell them, that they're headed towards a cliff? And a lot of times, I don't know if we even make it that far. Well, I don't know if we do, and I don't mean just. I mean in general. The way that I tend to see this play out is that we're not willing to confront our friends, or those close to us with tough things like that. But we're more than welcome to let them destroy their lives and then try to help them rebuild. That most people don't have a problem with that, right? We'll stick our hand out and we'll help them get back on their feet. But how many people are willing to get in the line of fire for the person or someone that they care about, whether it's a family member, whether it's a brother, whether it could be somebody you don't even know directly, but through another relationship. And my grandpa would always talk to me and tell me that he didn't have a problem playing the a-hole. And I never really knew what he meant by that growing up. I just thought that maybe he just enjoyed being a jerk sometimes, or appearing like that. But now that I'm older and I reflect back on it, that's not what he was doing at all. He knew that it would be human nature, or that men default to the path of least resistance, right? Where that passivity sets in, and we're not willing to have that tough conversation. We're not willing to really dig our heels in. We're not willing to confront somebody on maybe what they're doing if we see them making a big mistake. And I think for our generation, it's even harder to do that because we don't see things. What's the word I'm looking for? Um, we don't believe that there's one truth. Charles, you're funny. Um, we don't, see that there's an absolute truth. It's whatever's right for each person is the way society goes. So that kind of makes it hard for us to confront somebody when they're maybe doing something we don't agree with, or we see them heading towards a potential pitfall. And my grandpa would insert himself in those positions, and he was willing to I guess, be that battering ram, or in some instances, take that direct fire by trying to help that person see the whole situation. Sometimes it worked out for them, and sometimes it didn't work out very well. So I bring all this up to say two things to challenge you for tonight. One, what situations in your life are you being passive about? What conversations have you avoided, whether they're with your wife, whether they're with family members, whether they're with friends, where you see something going on? Maybe it's with a child of yours that that there is potential trouble ahead, and this person is not looking at it objectively. And that may mean that you have to insert yourself in that and step up and have that tough conversation and appear to be the a-hole to that person. But the second question then is that person worth it? Is that person really worth having that hard conversation, getting involved, and trying to do the right thing by them? And I would say that yes, they are, as far as I'm concerned. And I know what that's like on both sides of the coin. At one time in my life, I was doing some things that I shouldn't have been doing, and I was involved in a situation that was going down the wrong road, and I had some guys who they loved me enough to play that role, and they confronted me and they called it out, and it was the wake-up call, thank God, that I needed to make a course correction. And I've had the opportunity to be on the other side of that coin and approach somebody and have them think about what they're doing in the way that they're deciding to progress through life with the situation that they are in. Now, a word of wisdom: if you're going to insert yourself in that situation because you care for that person and you want to speak up, remember that you need to do that out of honor, but you also need to do that out of love. If you come charging in there like a bull in a china shop and just making accusations and telling somebody to their face that they're wrong, it's not going to go where you need it to be. My advice would be to be objective about it and to approach the situation and ask the person what's going on, let them talk and explain, and then use language like, have you considered the possibility that this might happen, or how do you see that that playing out? And then if there's an opportunity, maybe share some personal experience that you might have with that situation. I just think of a couple of situations where people didn't insert themselves, and we stood back and watched, and we knew that those people were going down the wrong road, and we're going to make a big decision. And to be honest with you, we didn't have the balls. I didn't have the balls to call them out on it, to insert myself in the situation, and they went over the proverbial cliff and destroyed everything that they had going on in their life. And then, people were there to help them pick up the pieces. But, I mean, really, is that the kind of friends that we want to be? Is that the kind of men we want to be in this society? We'll help you pick up the pieces, but we're going to let you crash the car first, drive off the cliff. I don't want to be that moving forward. So I just postulate and pose that to you tonight in Tuesday Thoughts. Don't know what you think about it. If you got any comments, leave them below. I'm curious to know if you're willing to walk in the line of fire for someone that you care about. So obviously, it's one thing to say it, and it's another thing to do it. So just think about those two questions as you progress through the week, and maybe you'll have an opportunity to see a situation where you could use the wisdom that you have, maybe the life experience that you have, and you can insert yourself in a tough situation, but save somebody from making a very grave mistake. So that's it for tonight. Hope you guys are having a good week, and we'll see you tomorrow for Wednesday Wisdom. Have a good night.